Welcome to the A for Effort series, Short Stuff. My name's Lexx Fusco.
And I'm Connor McKibben Vaughn.
And we will be reacting to some short form content I've written over the years, varying from, age 8 to 18. And it's, short stories, writing prompts I did for creative writing classes in high school, random treatments I started doing before I realized what treatments were. I will make Connor and some guests suffer through some poetry, just, the short stuff of it all. Thank you for listening, and don't forget, you're not good at something until you suck at it first. Welcome back to the A for Effort series, Short Stuff. I'm Lexx Fusco, and joining me as always is my husband and fellow writer in crime, Connor McKibben Vaughn.
Nothing I do is consensual here. I have been trapped in this apartment for 3 weeks. She won't let me leave. I have to keep listening to her ramblings, please.
Oh boy, weeks is an awful big understatement, but that's fine. Everything's great.
She feeds me though, so.
And there's a cat.
Sometimes.
Oh, gel beans. So today we are looking at two short pieces of writing, one of which...
Pieces, you say that. It's a very vague term. What are they actually?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay, so I was a little presumptuous.
Yeah, it's fine. It's those weeks being trapped here that have gotten you...
Antsy,
yeah. So the first piece is a short story I wrote in 3rd grade.
Oh, we're
going way back. This was part of an assignment that everyone does in 3rd grade at Concord Elementary School, where you publish a book. And it's 6 pages, I believe.
That's a lot for a 3rd grader.
It's actually, I lied. It's 1, 2, 3, 4 pages.
It's still a lot for a 3rd grader.
It is a lot.
Anything more than like 1 page is a lot for a 3rd grader.
Yeah. So we're just going to jump right into that one. And, okay. Leprechaun and Me.
That's the title?
Mm-hmm. By Alexis Fusco. This book is dedicated to Mrs. Carr because she is a great teacher. One day, I found a leprechaun. He was tap dancing in his cottage made of wood. He had 80,000 pieces of gold.
Wow. Specific.
He said, "My name is Lucky. And my name is Alexis. Would you be my friend?" The end.
I feel like I was misled by the amount of content on the pages.
I told you it was only a sentence a page.
Did you?
I did.
I didn't. I missed that piece of information.
This book ends with an about the author that I wrote.
How old are you at 3rd grade?
7. And I know this because it's in the about the author.
Okay, good. Good to know.
About the author. Alexis Fusco is 7 years old. She attends Concord Elementary School and lives in Glen Mills, Pennsylvania, with her mother, father, sister Sabrina, and her dog Tiga. Alexis enjoys doing crafts, going to the beach, and music. She would like to be a scientist someday. So there's several items in this I would like to...
I want to point out that you want to be a scientist, but none of the things you enjoy have anything to do with being a scientist.
I know.
I mean, to be fair, you can have other interests outside of your career. That's allowed.
So first off, I didn't know my mom and dad had first names until I was like 10.
I mean, I knew that they had names. I just did never call them by them.
Yeah, I had no idea what they were. Until I was like 10.
You weren't paying attention?
Nope.
Did they ever call them by that?
I can't for the life of me.
Did they ever call themselves by their first names?
Probably. There's a more than good possibility.
I mean, I had the unfortunate circumstance of my father having a nickname that only my mom calls him. Makes no sense. My father's name is Thomas. My mom calls him Flam. His father called him Flam.
Okay.
But no one still calls him that but my mother. But we've gotten very off topic. You named the leprechaun after the leprechaun from Lucky Charms.
Probably.
So there's that.
There is. I do have a Bachelor of Science in screenwriting. So technically, I did grow up to be a scientist someday.
Do you employ the scientific method when you do your writing?
No.
Do you know what the scientific method is?
I know a hypothesis is involved. I know a hypothesis is involved. I know a conclusion is involved.
I can't tell if you said that line twice for comedy or because you said it wrong the first time and were giving me options.
I said it correctly both times, and I was saying it for comedy, which I'm not great at either. So, but yeah, so that was our first bit of short stuff.
You know what hits me really hard? I don't know if they're going to be friends or not.
I love this. And my name is Alexis. Would you be my friend?
Lucky does not answer. He just walks away, which I guess is an answer.
Oh, God. Terrible. Awful. The next one I wrote when I was 14.
Oh, this is a big jump.
Well, it's 7 years.
Big jump.
It's a big jump, and oh boy, it is a very different
Is there no
tonal
friendships being built?
No, it's a very different tonal direction.
All right. Is it also a short story? I'm sorry if you said that already.
This is also a short story. This is also a creative writing assignment from my creative writing class in 9th grade. It just wasn't in my creative writing portfolio for some reason. It's called Rock Bottom. So we're starting off real great.
All right. How many pages is it?
2.
Okay. I'm going to guess what it's about.
Okay.
A boy.
Okay.
Who thinks that he has embarrassed himself to the point of no return socially. And wallowing in his own despair.
You know what? Technically, yes.
Then we don't even need to read it.
Okay.
I got it.
I got it, guys. Okay. Rock bottom. I stared out the window, swimming in thought, attempting to drown. I remember that day.
What does that mean?
He was swimming in thought, attempting to drown.
Drown in thought? So he was trying to confuse himself.
Yes. I remember that day in July when the hail the size of sedans fell from the sky. The gunfire still boomed in my ears, muffling the girl's screams of terror.
Oh, he has PTSD.
Yeah. He's wallowing in despair. You said it yourself. I tried to cast these away, and then I reminisced about the final steps I took. Smash! No, Fletch! I roared. My hands gripped.
What?
My hands gripped around the top of my chair's wheels, and I pushed the rubber in my hands and rolled myself to the table. I yanked the troublesome ball of fur from the surface of the table and shooed away the several other kittens accumulating around the shattered vase.
I thought he was Fletch. And
No.
that someone was saying that. And I was like, you wrote fan fiction of Fletch?
No. I still don't know why I put flowers on there. I don't find them amusing or even cheerful. I reached for the paper towels on the counter nearby, but I stretched out too far.
It was ironic. That's why he did it.
But I stretched out too far and fell from the chair. God damn it, motherless son of a... I let out a few more choice phrases and then fell quiet after my outburst of minor stupidity. One of the advantages of a blown-out spinal cord is you don't feel much pain. I laid there flat on my stomach, the cats surrounding me. The dust and fur that was on the floor blew around as I exhaled.
They're trying to see if they can eat you.
A few of the felines jumped up onto my back and clawed at my hair.
Yep.
I didn't really notice them until I saw them moving out of my periphery. It was 2 years ago, July 7th. I had my gold shield for 18 months and 76 collars under my belt. My partner, Jess Stanton, and I were answering a 437, a domestic disturbance call.
I'm glad we know his partner's name, but not him.
I know. He's I. It wasn't anything exciting or challenging, or so I assumed, like the ass I am. When we got there, it evolved into a hostage situation. The scumbag had taken his wife, elderly neighbor, and his kids into the laundry room of the brownstone. He executed 3 of the hostages as we arrived, and they were DOA before we could even get to the room. The madman had his boot on his wife's lifeless chest. As if he let her go, she would come up and bite him. He had his shotgun aimed at his cowering daughter, who was hiding her younger brother behind her back.
Wow, wait. Let's just appreciate the fact that, A, you still think that all criminals are psychopaths
I know.
at 14. And 2,
That wasn't going to change.
children are still fair game
Yeah.
for you to just fuck with.
Yep. She kept screaming over and over, "Daddy, please." Her pleas didn't break through his barriers made of crazy. I clicked the safety off of my firearm. Jess kept her eye on the girl.
Glad to know that you went in with it drawn and the safety still on.
Just in case. "Put the weapon down, sir. We can talk about this," I seethed.
He's already killed people. Shoot him. Shoot him.
I didn't want to talk. I wanted to redecorate the room with his brain matter.
All right, he should stand trial. You should shoot him in the leg or the penis.
Ow. Ow, my tummy hurts. Just the way that you said penis was so as matter of fact and casual. It's so serious and so angsty. And then you're all like, shoot him in the leg.
Thank you for explaining my joke.
I can't breathe. There are tears in my eyes and streaming down my face right now. Okay. Whew. Children are about to die. I need to calm down. Okay.
Spoilers.
I don't know if that's true or not. Okay. Whew.
Well, they're going to be traumatized.
Okay. Okay. I can. I'm good. Okay. I didn't want to talk. I wanted to redecorate the room with his brain matter. The man ignored me. "I'll put mine down," I suggested. I slowly placed it on top of the dryer and walked cautiously in front of the daughter. I could see the gun shaking in his unstable hands. "You don't want to do this. I know you don't. Stop while you can."
Isn't his partner right behind him?
Yeah.
With his gun still drawn?
Jess
Yeah.
has her gun, yeah.
Jess?
Jess Stanton.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I thought you said Jeff Stanton.
No, Jess.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah.
Jeff Stanton.
Jeff. "They're your family," I began, but he shouted over me. "Shut up, just shut up. You don't know. Get the hell out of my way. I don't mind blasting you too," the man threatened.
Oh, you're so polite. You don't mind?
You don't? Good. I began to continue the pointless negotiation when I was yet again interrupted. The girl knocked over a bottle of detergent and it spooked the father and he fired. I whirled around and took the blast in the back as I protected the child. I could hear the boom of Jess's gun as it loaded 2 bullets into the shooter's head. The girl's screams.
She's really good.
She's
Okay, first off.
a total accident. She was aiming for his shoulder.
like, you're trained to shoot center mass.
Mm-hmm.
Brain is not center mass. Head is not center mass. Stop it.
She wanted to make sure.
But I'm saying it's hard.
Yeah.
Headshots are hard.
She got 2.
Yeah.
2 in. That's impressive because he should have been falling by that point in time. And she still got 2 shots in.
Well, here's the thing. Law enforcement often, especially or at least law enforcement, but mostly military, are trained to do instantly. You pull 2. So if she was good and she was trained well, then the 2 shots, milliseconds between each other.
Okay. The girl's screams were muffled by the gunfire. I don't really remember much after that. Even the pain was nearly non-existent.
You're in shock.
I was dead for 97 seconds, and honestly, I wish I had stayed that way. I had to have my...
What kind of existential look into this man's mind are we...
I had to hand in my shield, and there was no way I was going to ride a desk for the rest of my career. Docs say that there's a 15% chance that I'll walk again. I was never a genius with math, but those odds never seemed in my favor. So I retired at the age of 29. I continued to just lie there, drowning in self-pity, with the kittens staring down at me. I sincerely thought hitting bottom would make a louder sound. And that's the end.
That was dark.
That was dark. That was a departure from the leprechaun in me.
Well, you'd matured.
I had matured.
The world was not rainbows, stars, and all the other marshmallows.
So yeah, that concludes our episode of Short Stuff.
Short episode about short stuff.
Short episode about short stuff.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna give them both an M for magically delicious. The second one wasn't delicious. The second one was sad.
It was sad. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Short Stuff, and don't forget, you're not good at something until you suck at it first.
Please save me.